This video was written by What If Football, a link to his channel will be in the description below. So if you're old enough, you'll remember back to May 99, in the grandest of seasons, in the greatest of games, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scored Manchester United's greatest ever goal with an extended right boot. It sent a treble-winning ball into the top corner of the Camp Nou net. Ever since, United have failed to defeat Bayern Munich in any meaningful manner. The 99 Champions League final stands as the most important of the 11 fixtures between the almighty pair. Today we're looking at each of United's 5 visits to Munich to see what Erik Ten Hag's side can learn from them. But before I go any further, remember to subscribe to the channel and check out my Patreon podcast, which will be linked below. But also, if you want cheap good quality football jerseys for the new season or retro jerseys from the past 40 years, then check out jerseyfifa.com, a link will be in my Instagram bio, and if you use coupon code Atlantis you should get a discount as well. I'll leave my Instagram at the top of the description and comment section, and a link will be in my Instagram bio. Bayern Munich 2, Manchester United 2, September 1998. This being the second contest for either team in the Champions League group phase of that season, and with only one guaranteed qualifier, both needed a result. Bayern had been shocked by 2 late goals in Denmark to Brøndby, losing 2-1, whilst United on the other hand had played out an absolute epic with Barcelona at Old Trafford, sharing the points. Neither had gotten off to the best start, an imperative for any Champions League campaign, but the second match offers the perfect opportunity to go into a double header with a single opponent and pick up momentum. But United were up against it from minute 1, as they have been so often in these trips to Bavaria, and they would concede in the 11th minute to Giovanni Elba, who was flagrantly offside from a delicate Carsten Janker pass. Regardless, United would even up the score with an ever deadly combination of David Beckham and Dwight Yorke, and they would even up the injustice when Paul Scholes handled in a stumbling second goal. But Giovanni Elba would score late on to deny United a victory, leaving the game at 2-2. But this was not the last time that United would overturn a deficit against Bayern Munich. But that 99 final was not the first that a 90th minute sickener would be felt by a team in this fixture. United had been controlled the hard way in Europe during the 90s via titanic clashes with Juventus and hard trips to Sweden, Turkey and Germany. This is a trait that is learnt the hard way, and it's something that not even a springtime Spanish tour in the Europa League to Seville and Barcelona can drill into some of Erik Ten Hag's younger members. And even when you feel like you've cracked it, as United felt they had done by reaching the semi-finals and conquering teams like Juventus, there is always a capacity for a one-off moment to change the course of a Champions League group. Take Peter Schmeichel for instance, coming to claim a throw-in that was never his and forcing an own goal upon Teddy Sheringham that left United with 2 draws from 2 matches. And reportedly it was this mistake that incepted the idea in the Great Dane's mind to leave the club come the end of the season. But around 2 years on, it was Bayern Munich 2, Manchester United 1 in April 2001. United had scaled their own European mountain, whilst Bayern Munich's potential treble of their own in 1999 had turned into a simple Bundesliga success. After a Real Madrid 3-2 win at Old Trafford in the quarter-final in 2000 had stopped a United-Bayern reunion the previous year, the Champions League draw in 2001 had ensured that Bayern and United were locked together once again. The two managers were good friends, Otmar Hitzfeld and Sir Alex Ferguson, and they'd have a chance to renew their on-pitch rivalry in the last 8 phase. Whilst half of the 22 remained from the 99 Champions League final, United had failed to evolve after they'd reached the pinnacle of Europe. If the prior year's defeat to Real Madrid was the epiphany that the 4-4-2 didn't really work anymore on the continent, then Bayern's dominance over United both at Old Trafford and in the Olympic Stadion was a catalyst for Ferguson to tear up his ideas and start afresh. And to be honest, Bayern could have won by 3 or 4 in Manchester, and by half-time in the second leg had added their away goal with 2 first-half strikes that killed the tie stone dead. And this serves as a lesson for Ten Hag that if he does want to be successful in the league or on the continent, that the work simply does not stop there, and that tactically at least, he may have to rip up his ideas and maybe look to incorporate either a 4-4-2 diamond or a 5-at-the-back system, or at the very least be prepared to switch between systems. Bayern Munich 1, Manchester United 1, November 2001. The clubs wouldn't be apart for long in the Champions League, meeting just 6 months later in a short-lived second group phase of the competition. In a group that also contained Boavista and Nantes, the main event would be at the Olympia Stadion in Munich. Facing Otmar Hitzfeld's Bayern Munich was a very different looking Manchester United. Laurent Blanc was haphazardly trying to replace Jaap Stam, but further forward a midfield 5 was in the infancy at United. The transfer market splurges on one Sebastian Veron, as well as Ruud van Nistelrooy, had changed the entire team. The man signed from Lazio was now being crowbarred into the team alongside a partnership of Roy Keane and Paul Scholes to gain numbers in the midfield, whilst the latter was a poacher simply designed to score goals. And it worked. Ruud van Nistelrooy grabbed what looked to be a late winner in a professional performance for United, but ultimately Paulo Sergio would strike late, just as he had done in the prior season's quarter-final at Old Trafford, to force a draw, a good point against European champions, but an even better performance. However, with the flops of Laurent Blanc and Juan Sebastian Veron, it was a rare failed endeavour in the market from Sir Alex. But 22 years on, United are just simply used to that, with Erik Ten Hag presumably learning big lessons pretty much every 6 months or so. Bayern Munich 2, Manchester United 1, March 2010. Bayern Munich had had the embarrassment of dropping into the UEFA Cup for 1 year to play such European giants as Bolton Wanderers. Meanwhile, Sir Alex Ferguson had built his last great Manchester United team and taken the club to 2 successive Champions League finals. And by this point, United were one of the most experienced sides in Europe and played some of the best football too. The quarter-final of 09-10, however, is a tale of adaptation. Before the season kicked off, United lost the influential Cristiano Ronaldo and Carlos Tevez, replacing them with Antonio Valencia and Michael Owen. There was no doubt that United were a significantly weaker team, but with the tweaking of Wayne Rooney's positioning and importance at the club, United looked set for a 4th Premier League title in a row and their 3rd Champions League final in a row. United had adapted to seemingly knockout blows in the market and had come out swinging, but unfortunately, after what can be deemed a successful defeat in Bayern's new Allianz Arena, it seemed like this time Ferguson was leaning too much on Wayne Rooney's importance. Rooney would net on the back post from a free kick inside 2 minutes in Bavaria, giving United an invaluable goal, and not even the late strikes from Frank Ribery and Ivica Olic could take that away. And so a convincing enough win in Manchester was all that was needed for United. Unfortunately, at the end of the game, Wayne Rooney suffered an ankle injury that seemingly left him out for the rest of the season and potentially the World Cup. In the reverse leg 8 days later, Ferguson risked him for 55 minutes. Whilst Rooney was nowhere near his best, his presence alone owed a lot to United romping into a 3-0 scoreline inside 40 minutes. However, with Rooney's ankle a targeting point and Raphael being incredibly naive and picking up 2 yellow cards, the outnumbered United managed a 3-2 victory but an away goals defeat over both legs. Fast forward, Bayern Munich 3, Manchester United 1, April 2014. By this stage, just 4 years later, United were just happy to be back in a Champions League quarter-final. Sir Alex Ferguson had retired and David Moyes' succession was going horribly. They had been lucky to overturn a defeat away at Olympiacos to even get to the quarter-final, and United stood no chance of returning to the competition via league position because they would end up finishing 7th, and so realistically by this stage they knew that in order to qualify for next season's Champions League, they had to win the trophy this season. When the draw paired David Moyes with Pep Guardiola, the Champions League dream faded quickly. A 1-1 draw at Old Trafford might have sounded like a good result under those circumstances, had Danny Welbeck not spectacularly fluffed his lines in a 1v1 against Manuel Neuer in what was probably the best chance of the first leg. Still, an away goal would change all of that in Bavaria, with one of United's finer goals securing that, which was Patrice Evra pulling out a thunderbolt from absolutely nowhere on 57 minutes. This lesson is the most pertinent for Erik Ten Hag's current United team. This is a lesson about concentration. From Evra's wonderful goal against a run of play, it took Bayern just 73 seconds to level the tie before 2 late goals sunk United's dreams. Sound familiar? So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that video, remember to subscribe to the channel and check the description for more videos as well. Put your thoughts on United this season in the comment section and click the bell for notifications when my videos do come out.